So I just mentioned in the beginning. So chapter 3 is a continuous discussion or practice from chapter 2 as your last part of the data analytics. So in chapter 2, we focus on the analysis part, right? So we introduce the AMPS model, like all the AMPS steps to perform any type of data analysis. So we call the identify a appropriate question, right? So and then you master the data. So identify, clean, and master the data so you can perform the analysis in the next step. When you perform the analysis, we need to choose the right method. Okay, use like do you need a trending analysis, or do you use some regression models, or use any type of specific tools? So that's like we were talking like the one I'm grading right now is the three lab, right? So we have some lab from the readings and also the lab as assignments. So we performed the three lab assignments. We did a variances analysis, okay, as a diagnostic analysis, then conditional formatting for bank reconciliation, and then finally a prediction analysis for like the regression, okay, finding the trending for the sales. So based upon the question we identified and the question or the data we acquired, right? You decide what's the best approach to perform the analysis. Sometimes you need to try different things, right? So unless you are very experienced, you never know. Kind of like it's very hard to know what the best approach or best tool I can use to analyze the data. So sometimes we need to try the different approach and compare the results. And so that's kind of the thing. Compare the results to the original question, right? So does the results answered adequately to the question we raised in the beginning? So you can decide and compare and finalize the findings, and then finally share the results to the related users. So you may be like you are the only user involved in the project, right? So you raise the question, you perform the analysis, and you got the findings. Or you are trying to help other people or managers to perform the analysis and answer the questions. But finally, the stage is sharing the data. So when sharing the data is not like I performed the analysis, it's like I write on my scratch papers, right? So I can use any type of writing and the symbols or formulas. But when you present your findings or results, you need to make sure is understandable and easy to let other people uh, understand. Okay, not only yourself understand, how other people can understand and follow your ideas easily and in a like very efficient. So efficient communications. So that's kind of like, bring us to the visualization. Okay, visualization as the communication tools for your data analytics. So in this chapter, we'll focus on you can imagine. So when we talk about visualization, it's like graphical presentations, right? So figures or charts or even tables, but in an easily communicative approach to the users, especially when the users really don't work, they are not experts in our field, right? Like, even we may work as accountants, financial accountants, managerial accountants, but other users, the users, they want the results. They don't really know the accounting details. But we need to present the results in some way they can easily understand, right? So kind of lay language, so they can follow the findings and make decisions. So that's kind of the purpose. So you define So it's not really a definition. So all of us can understand is some graphical presentation, right? So it's like making a movie. So how the movie like is different from a book, right? Like they converted it to a movie is all visualized, right? So people like the visualization in a short time, like a 2 hours movie can cover the story like maybe 500 or 600 pages long. So it's more efficient and people or users can retain the information much longer, right? And easy to get the ideas from the graphical presentations. Then, what type of visualization normally we used in data analytics? So in the book, they said we can exploratory and explanatory. So the words used. Later you can see the exploratory is more like, so you are exploring something, you really don't know the results in the beginning. So it's some like navigating through the uncertainties, right? So we never know. It's not something like we already performed before, right? So it's like explore a new journey, right? So you like travel. So you are exploring some places you never went before. Okay, so it's kind of a new navigating through uncertainties and found your own way to perform the analysis and communicate. And explanatory is something we already know the results. We got the distribution or prediction, but we are trying to find the best way to present, right? So the result is already fixed. So we are trying to convert to the best visualization so we can let the users know. Okay, but sometimes it's not very clear distinct, right? So between the two type of visualizations, because in the middle or in the process we do the exploratory data, you can also convert it up. Itself is already explanatory, right? So just they are trying to making from the theory, like theoretically categorize the different visualizations, but in the real practice, probably even you perform it already, so you never know what's the real name. Okay, that you want just to call it. And then we talk about for the most common data types. Okay, what is the popular or recommended charts or figures, right? So suited for each type of the data: categorical data, numerical data, univariate data, multivariate data. So this will you even they give you these guidelines, but I think you still need time and practice to get familiar with the best tools I can use for different type of data. Okay, so you can use lots of the graphical tools like Excel. You can insert. You probably already know you can insert different charts and figures. Even the Excel, they have recommended charts based upon the data you put in the worksheets, right? So lots of times is AI like simulated, right? They give you the best recommendations based upon what you have, and we have other commercial software specially created for visualizations. You probably already heard about it: the Tableau, Power BI, SAP, SAP Analytics Cloud, SPSS, SAS. Okay, there. I think even like not maybe several, probably 10, 20. I think even like 30, 40 choices. Okay, like in the commercial markets, you can if you want to purchase some software so you can perform, but it's the one I just mentioned are the most popular ones, right? So you can purchase the license, like, if I'm a company, I can purchase the license, like a company license. I can have maybe at maximum 20 users or 30 users. Okay, they charge different pricing levels for the users or like individual license. Okay, so that's kind of so lots of things available. So you can choose the best one, suits for your data needs. But most of the times for beginners or even intermediate users, Excel is the best, best tool. It's not really the best. It's already a nice tool. We can start and apply it in very different data. And mostly is already priced with your Microsoft Office, right? So it's like part of your Office 365 or the Office like on your laptop. So it's already part of the overall Office software. We don't need to buy or make additional payments. So it's good enough. But if you use Tableau or Power BI or others, especially for commercial purpose, so you need to pay additional pricing for using those softwares. So that's kind of the main, like the learning objective. So it's still very practice based. So we'll do some brief. If you already started reading, I don't really think it's very hard, right? So it's very easy to follow the readings and, think about the recommended charts. So most important, so we need to get on some hands-on practice. So in Connect, you probably already see I opened the second data analytic project, and this one focuses on using Excel for the visualizations. So there, how many, like 3 or 4 questions, including finish the charts and explain. It's pretty much similar to the first project, but with a different focus. But like they see the containers. So just like the rest of the things. This is how the book define and data visualizations. If you see some other like internet, so search, they may have some different wording, but I think the most important is this. So graphical, rather than by words or by some or very like long or some charts. But it's something easy to visualize. Like with your findings. So we can use graph charts or other image graphical representation of the results and the underlying reasons, right? I think that's related to the way people learn, return knowledge, right? And also the cognitive learning. You can see, yeah, it's surprising, but that's really what we normally observe, right? So most of people, especially the young generations, they prefer visuals, right? So visuals, including movies, all the this social media things, right? Rather than reading a traditional book or a long story. And also related to the human brains, they process image much faster than the text information, and it can return the visual information much longer than the stories. So that's kind of so if you see a company presentation, right, or class presentation, you perform a project. When you finally make the presentations, we want to make the PPT, right? So not only a long writing, you really want to bring image, graph, and make your presentation more interactive and interesting for users to follow, right? So your presentations. And then they separate. Okay, so what's the main difference? So explorative or explanatory. Okay. So this one, like I'm saying, I'm trying to explore something I haven't done before. I really don't know what the results will look like. So you are trying the different tools to review or find the patterns. Okay, patterns of your data. Sometimes probably after you perform the analysis, I didn't find a particular pattern. For example, is a regression or is scatter plot, or so it's just a random data distribution. That's fine. But after you perform the analysis, right? So, but this give you like this one focus on the approach or the process. We transform the data into something, okay, we can use to gain insight on the data to assist the analysis and the decision making. Okay, so it's really it's really use your creative, right? So being problem solving and creative. Okay, being creative when you perform this type of data analysis and visualizations. Oh, and they made a few examples underneath, mostly related to business or accounting questions. For example, okay, like this, if I can increase this a little bit large, you can read. So if you are interested, so I just like, talk about one, for example, with the increased advertisement expense, has it been effective to bring up the sales revenues, right? So when you make more investment on the advertisement, but have the investment achieved the goal. So for example, I increase my advertisement, right? So like as like 10%. So this year's budget of the advertisement is 10% higher than last year. Okay, this is what my business strategy. But how about the sales? We have the sales increase like matching with the investment on advertisement. Okay, we hope so, but you really don't know, right? So you try to find the sales increase, for example, is did increase, but only 5%. And half of the magnitude of the advertisement. So are the management, right? So is the management team satisfied with this result? So is 5% sufficient to justify your increased spending on the advertisement, right? So without the data, we really don't know the answer, right? So, and you can see you can do a scatter plot and with advertisement. So it's something like this. So this is my advertisement expense. And on the vertical, the Y, and this is my, for example, my sales revenue. And you view scatter plot, like, for example, if I make this, right, amount of the advertisement, and this is my sales. So like, the data points. So distribution of the data points. And then if I increase to another level, for example, I'm just drawing this randomly. Okay, it's over here. Then another level, and this time the slide, and here, not really visually. Okay, then, but if I go here, maybe I suddenly got a boost on the sales. So this is like a scatter plot checking the correlation between two variables, between two data variables. And we think the advertisement is like a driver, right? So it's a independent variable, and then sales is a dependent variable. So can we really simulate a is a straight line. So what's the best visualization? For example, can I draw a straight line? Is the data more have a balanced distribution between the line? Or I'm just thinking, oh, maybe let me change another color. Okay. Or the actual data may going like this. Okay. Is a so this is the pattern 1 or pattern 2, okay, depending on your data distributions. So this is explorative, right? So I really don't know the results until I put all of the data in the charts, and then I can use the softwares to simulate a best equation. Okay, a straight line is a linear equation or curvilinear equation for the relationships. Okay, so that's like, still you keep your question in mind and looking for the distribution or the correlation of the results. Okay, then you can try the other 3 examples, like, what's the distribution of the profit margin across the company's different products. Remember, I think we have a SKU, right? I think the SKU question in homework 1. So Dimitri just mentioned, okay, that's part. Yeah, we have the different SKUs, and then we calculated a profit margin or gross margin, I forgot. But anyway, so you can see the distribution of the profit margin across all of your product categories. So if I'm a department store, like dealers or depending on Macy's, right? So what's the profit margin for my departments, all the product categories, right? So the women's clothing, like men's clothing, appliances, jewelries, like bags, cosmetics, right? So you can see the distribution of the profit margin. And this one, so probably a easy bar charts, right? So that's you can think about. So we have the categories, and then you can have the profit margin as a different bars, or you can have a line chart or something, right? So this is a percentage of profit margin, and these are your company's product categories, right? So you can just name. So there, I'm just making one example, but you have multiple ways to try or to see what the best visualizations. And I'm using the 2Ds, or in the Excel we have 3D graphical, right? So the 3D looks more nice. So this give you like the this I think like the these things. So rather than the 2D charts, okay, so it's make the visualization look better. Oh, you can see they have a multivariate, right? So you separate the fixed and variable expense. And that's normally when we introduce the variable cost and the fixed cost, we have the mixed cost. So this is you have a fixed portion, right? So this is the fixed, and then you have the variable, and this is your total cost. So when you have the original data, so it's so we use this chart, remember, combined with the sales price, sales revenue to conduct the CVP analysis, cost volume, and profit analysis in 232. So it's like, they don't really want to see the tables, but this chart, the CVP charts, can present, like this is the break-even point, and this is their profit region, and this is their loss region, right? So we can use the charts very easy to communicate and interactive. So we can see how the company's performance change with the volume of the sales or volume of the production. So I just like, so I like this part a lot, right? So it's very interesting. You convert your data, like your original worksheets into the visualizations. Explanatory. Okay, this is like we already know the results. Okay, probably from the table or calculations, and we simply want to find the best graphical approach to present, like communicate. So I already know the results, and now I just convert it to the graphical figures. Right? So what's the best way to communicate? And the visualization softwares or the tools, like I mentioned, the most popular, I believe, is still Excel. And then these two are more popular for professional users. For example, I'm a consulting company, right? So or like a financial analyst, right? So for Excel, we can perform the operation, and these two are really for more professional. Okay, they are doing this probably data analytics on their daily working, like daily working time. So they are professional users, right? And also they have some other, like I think the book has it, like SAS and SPSS. I think they also have something available. And SAP Analytic Cloud. Even I think Alteryx is like a way mostly used for auditing, right? But I think you see the names in the book as well, or different. So the popular ones in the market, I believe more than 10, like between 10 and 20. I think the most popular ones. And even now we have if you want to write your own code, the more advanced level, you can use the R or Python. Have you heard about the Python? So this is kind of a visualization coding. Okay, so for these two, you need to write your own code. There are lots of free training videos or training resources, like if you use the YouTube or other, even I believe like the LinkedIn or other like free resources to teach you all the R or Python tutorials, right? So these are all something available. So let me see a chart. Corrective research. Yes. So any comments? So have you used any, so Excel, and also have you used any of the other data analytic tools?
I mean, I've only had to use SAS and SPSS because I work at UT and we do research for COVID and HIV. So we're consistently doing data. So this is actually helping me.
Yes, yes, right. Yeah, yeah, wonderful. I use when I perform, I think I use SAS during my PhD study, like writing my dissertations. And SAS, you also need to write your own code, right? So that's the old one. I don't know what's really the new, but I used to write my own SAS code, like my research data, right? So you write the code to analyze like regression or calculate the means and the medians, and then present the results, okay, in the paper. Okay. SPSS is something they have like something similar to Excel, but is more like a statistical software, right? So the future trend, I know for lots of the people performing, if you're working more involved with the data analytics, I know lots of people start to learn the coding using the R or Python, or it will be very supportive, because sometimes Tableau and Power BI is more like more like Excel, right? You use their established, like the insert a chart or formulas. But when the analysis getting complicated, the process getting complicated also. But when you really try to write your own code, actually the code is easier and save time. Then you use the pre-built. So the pre-built, they have their limits. So for example, when you try to perform, I tried something like before. I used the Tableau. Like for example, I try to prepare they call a donut chart, right? So donut chart for something, I'm showing something like this. And this really become complicated. Okay, you need to insert different, use the netted tools. You still can do it, but I think in the Python, if you know the code, it take less time. Like, but the given, the coding. Oh, that's lots of. I know the finance people, when they trying to do the investing, they really start to learn. That's kind of my goal. I have planning a long time. Okay, trying to learn some Python, like for example, typing some like hello interactive, but really haven't got the time to pursue the details. Okay, I downloaded some videos. If you like, I can share in the Blackboard. Okay, there's some nice Python or R tutorials available. Okay, all free to the learners. I also learned Tableau basically by myself, right? So like using their self-learning tutorial. I can share Tableau a little bit later, so you can see that Tableau is very powerful. Okay, I like it a lot because for beginners, it's very easy. It's like Excel, so you pretty much drag and drop, right? So like drag your data or drag insert, and it quickly can show. So while you are picking your different objects, they quickly show the results. Okay, and if it's something you don't want, you can put it back. It's like the pivot table, right? So if this is not I want, I just bring it back and try something else. So they call like this, they say, okay, pick and drop. Okay, those can, but the R and Python is not. Okay, you really need to learn some basic coding language. And Power BI is also is a advanced data analytic from Microsoft. Right? So this is another product. It's not a part of the Office 365, or it's separate. And the Power BI only run on Office. I'm sorry, like the what I say the Microsoft. The Power BI wouldn't work on the Apple product. So what was the name? MacBook, right? So not wrong. So Tableau can handle both. So Office, the Microsoft thing, the Windows and the MacBook, but the Power BI only run the Windows. So that's some, but still lots of people use Power BI. So if they really are not Mac users, okay, but Tableau work on both. Questions? And here are some like additional distribution. They are trying to make the recommendation. Okay, so what the available tools for based upon the different analysis, and like perform the analysis or share the story. But you can see there are lots of overlapping things. We don't have something really, this is only for analyze the data and this is only for presenting the data. Like Excel, you can perform the analysis and present the data in the same place. Similar thing for the Tableau or Power BI, but now they put on here, right? So SAS data. Stata is also something pretty, they have been in the market for some time. SPSS, Python, and R, right, the basics. But here, this is something, or if you want to do some data prep, like clean data, transform the data, you better use like Alteryx. Okay, this is really also used a lot in auditing. So Alteryx works slightly different from Excel. It's more like it's like a project management. So it's like a workflow, right? They have workflow a lot. And SQL is some database. We'll introduce the SQL probably in chapter 5 and 6. Okay, when we introduce the database management. So SQL can help you work on some fundamental data management task. And Tableau, initially the Tableau is perform the analysis and visualize. Later they develop the Tableau prep. Okay, it's something you prepare the data, okay, before you move to the analysis. So for example, I have lots of files. I want to merge them together. I want to work on the columns. Okay, I want to break down the columns, like one column, like the combo data into the month, year, and the day. So if you have lots of data transformation need, you can use the Tableau prep first. Okay, means you prepare the data before you perform the analysis. So initially it's combined, but later they separate the data parts, okay, as they can handling more challenging task to for the data parts. Okay, and Power BI, Power Query. Okay, Power Query. You can use it. I think the Excel we have the Power Query available now. Okay, not only under the Power BI. And they give us some recommendation depending on the data type, or the specific. So categorical data, univariable data. So for example, what's the univariate data? Is like we are trying to, for example, telling the age of our community or the age of the population, right? So you only have one interested variable. So univariate means you have one interested variable, but I want to have a distribution of the age. It's like our aging analysis of the accounts receivable. We did in the, I have a lab demo. So you only have one variable, but you want to see the distribution. We like the, in under 20 years old, 20 to 40, right? So you use the histograms. So something like this. Okay, so I have some outliers, right? And this is maybe 50%. And then I have your mean or like average, right? So this is by mean and this is by media, right? So a histogram to show the distribution of your interested variable. Okay. And the categorical data, you can use bar charts, okay, and tree map or bubble charts. Or if you the tree map is something like this, like distribution. They use like the different area to indicate. Oh, I'm just like drawing something. So distribution, like for example, this is my regional sales. Okay, I have 6 different regions, right? So how about their sales revenue? I can use bar charts, no problem. Okay, 6 bars. Or this is something. Also, you can tell the sales difference by the area in the tree map, right? So all bubble charts. So that's just all the different ways. And the multivariate relationship is like the one multivariate. I have 2 variables and the y and x. Okay, I want to see the relationships. So you use the data plot, right, to trying to simulate, okay, to find a pattern pattern for the two the pair of the data or relationships. Geospatial, so map, right? So this is definitely you see like the global sales map or North America, right? So related to the region and the states, even the counties or the cities, right? So the population, right? So economic data, so geographical. Time trends. So this is the one we use for prediction. Remember, like the prediction analysis, time series, and then based upon the past, so we can make predictions, right? So the different ways we are looking forward, okay, make predictions. And proportional is kind of categorical data, like the pie charts, donut charts. Tree map is also a kind of can use for proportional, right? So the pie or the donuts, right? And so when you like practice more, it's become like so become more experienced. Okay, when you see the data type. And for both like the Excel and other tools, they already have some automatically generated, so recommended. So if you just input the data, the system or this part of the AI, so artificial intelligence. So based upon, for example, I already have the two variables. Based upon the data, the system can directly give you recommendation. Okay, so what's the best way we can present the data? We use a bar chart or tree map or bubble charts or even a like a time series analysis. Okay, so that's very so you wouldn't really start from something empty, right? So you can have some recommendation from the system and then you can refine the analysis with that. So I think let me that, and in the book, okay, they have these videos, so you can read them in the book. So I will try to save some time. Okay, and I want to show you something like the Tableau. Okay, how really a visualization can look like. Okay, really powerful to communicate, okay, to the users. But any question before I close the slides?
No,
Okay, and then let me do share and Kelsey, the my shared, and this is Tableau. I have a academic license, right? So if I can get a 1-year academic license for download the Tableau. But if you have interest, you can also, I believe, get a free trial for 2 weeks. Yeah, you can. Everyone can get a trial license for 2 weeks. Or you can apply a student account, I believe. The student account you probably can use for 1 year or 6 months, I kind of forget. But at least 6 months, you can apply a student account, but you need to provide a like a proof. Like for example, you are still a like in-school student. If you can supply, I believe, like a transcript or some like verification of your student status. Okay, they can give you free trial for half year or even 1 year, I forgot, and you can renew it as long as you maintain the student status. It's a very help like for tools, and they even offer Tableau certificate. As you if you really looking for something, you can take the course, take the test, take the course, or self-tutorial, and pass the test and get a certificate, okay, on like a Tableau data analytics certificate. So this is Tableau is looking kind of different, but first you need to import your data. Okay, this is really like Excel worksheets, right? And Tableau accept many different types of data. You can import, I believe. So you can connection. Okay, they call connection. You can add, and you can directly use a Tableau server, or you can the regular, like they can import from Excel text file, Microsoft Access, even PDF, statistical file like SAS data, SPSS, more. Or if you even you can import the data from the servers like a large database, Oracle, MySQL, or Amazon, right? So like, and then there are lots of other things they can accept. But mostly like us, okay, we use Excel or maybe text files. So you can import the data into the Tableau, and we already have some data. This is a demo file. Okay, if you download and install Tableau, you probably see this they call Superstore is something included in the trial license. Okay, they give you some demo. And we have, I think here I have probably 3 worksheets, right? This you can, after import, you see your main worksheets, and they give you a preview for your worksheets. So you can see the columns and you can see the rows, like the data, how the data look like. And you can also see the data types. The ABC means is text, I believe. Oh, sorry, ABC is text, and the data variables, and also numerical. Okay, they don't really have numerical values in this file, but you also see, if you see a data as a like the map as the image, means you can put it in the map. Okay, you can directly employ some mapping, geo-mapping analysis. So it's very automatic. And then the return, I'm just showing you some, because this is a large data. Okay, it takes longer. Okay, it is checking the Superstore sales and also the returns. And between your data, you see you have, I think I probably imported one more time. Okay, I just want to remove it accidentally. So you can define the relationships between the worksheets you have. The relational database we'll talk about in chapter 5. Okay, but you can see the order is related to the return and also is related to the people. The people actually referring to the customers. They call people, but it's actually a customer. So you have your data. Okay, so you need to import it somewhere, and then you can perform your analysis. And this is the overall dashboard. It's like everything is already visualized, graphical presentation. And you can see they used a mapping charts for the overall executive overview for profitability. Okay, all states. And you have your summarized numbers, right? So you can sales, profit ratio, profit per order, sales per customer, average discount quantity. That's all of your KPIs. Think about if they are the KPIs. And you also can, you have the filters, right? So you can filter, you can show different regions, and you also can give the range. You can see you all can build this, okay, into your visualizations. And you also can search, right? So like filter by the profit ratios, and you can see the color regions. So underneath we have 2 other tables or like charts support the graph, okay, support your overall summary. We have the monthly sales by segment and the monthly sales by product category. Okay, that's probably some like the two important sales data, help you, try to interpret the overall presentation. Okay, think about this is your dashboard. And then you have detailed analysis, okay, for each of the other sheets. We have you see this is the more detailed analysis for sales by product. Okay, sales by product. And the sales, we have the yearly, so we can see months and then category. Okay, so you have a table and then bubble charts. Okay, so both of them. And you have the different color zones to show the range, or you also have the tips. So how I can perform this analysis? They hide. So if you try, this is already visualization. They call dashboard. Oh, I think this is already dashboard. And let me see, do we have an analysis? And another, this is a customer analysis. So shipping. Okay, this is an analysis plus visualization. Okay, so if you can see, if you're doing analysis, it's like our pivot table. So you have all of your data columns or data fields listed on the left. So this is the one I'm talking about, your pick and drop. So you have all of your variables on the left, and then you can pick and drop it. Okay, you can see the charts, how the charts or graph will react to the choices. And then in the middle, you have all of like the color, the size of the graphic labels, details. So in the middle, you can refine, they give you the tools, you can refine the graph or the charts. Okay, perform. So let me open a new analysis so you can see quickly what I'm doing. I'm opening a empty, right? So a new analysis. I just to show you quickly, for example, I want to see the relationship of my, let's see, product ID or maybe segment. Okay, so segment and the sales, you can see I can pick the segment as the column, and then the sales. Okay, sales is a numerical value. Did you see? I didn't do anything. They already constructed a bar chart for me. And how they can do this? And there is a show me is a recommendation. Okay, based upon the two variables I chose, they give me the recommendations. I can do a bar charts, or a stack the bar charts, or a tree map, or a pie chart, or something else. So this is the bar charts. Okay, that sense, let me change to something else. Oh, this is the table. Oh, it's still visualization, right? But a small table. I can use this is the tree map I mentioned. The tree map, okay, using the area to show the differences. Also, I can use a bubble charts. Let's see this. Stacked bar charts. Okay, if you put all of them, okay, you can see the relative percentage, okay, about the weight for the three segments. But I think it's still the bar charts, right? So this one is maybe better. I can swap the axis, okay, to make it vertical or horizontal. Oh, see here. So it's very easy to navigate after you learn the basic functions. Okay, I learned all of this by myself. Okay. So it's pretty much self-learning. Okay, and I can see enhance. So for example, I can change the color. Okay, right now I want to use probably some. I can change the color of the bars. And also I can refine. Okay. I don't really have anything for the size. Like for the bubbles, you can adjust the size. But for example, I want to add the label. Okay, label means I want to have the show mark labels. You can see the adding the sales numbers, okay, as the labels on the top of the chart. Okay, and also I can change this to, remember in pivot table, I can do the summary by, the calculation by the sum or by average, right? So I can easily perform here as well. Right now, the default is sum, and I can change to average, right? So it become average sales by the segment. Or I can change something. This is measures like median count, right? And this is a continuous, is treating like a continuous variable. Right? So let me just show you something. And sales and the sales forecast. Okay, and I can do lots of other like hierarchical. I can add the, so for I have segments, and then I can probably looking for a second drill of the numbers, like adding the product ID. And this probably too much details. So if I don't want it, I can just move out. So very, very convenient. Okay, this is okay. I probably can add a category. Okay, this is better. Yeah, this is make more sense. So I have the segment and the category. Okay, underneath. Okay, under both. Do you see? So Tableau. So I really don't have time to teach, but I can offer some, these free resources I can post in Blackboard if you have time to explore, or I really encourage, right?
Is it
Questions?
required,
No,
Professor
this is
Wang,
not
or is it just something that would help with processing our project analysis?
it's not required. It's just it's like a demo, because the book they do have like a few labs. But for our projects, I still just require Excel, so I want to be consistent. But this just to let you know, there's something available and it's quite popular in the market. Okay, and if you know something, it will be very helpful. If you can put this, like the technical skills, okay, you can put it in your resume. That worth a lot. Okay, you will catch the eye from the recruiters. In addition to Excel, yeah, in addition to Microsoft Office. At least you know what this is about.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. Then let me stop this. Okay, and quickly, just like a few more minutes on the Excel. Okay, then we'll get it done. Because the lab, I will do more detailed demo for the lab assignments. Okay, using Excel. But just let me open something. So quickly show where the tools. Okay, it's coming. So let me share this. And so this is a simple Excel file, right? So like, you know, if I want to insert a chart, like I want to, I have a time series of data. So I'm looking for the net income and the net sales over time, over the years. So you can, for Excel, most of the charts and the graph, we can use a insert, right? So if you looking here, insert in this parts of your the the ribbons, right? So commands and ribbons, you can see you have most of the similar charts as in the Tableau if you want to expand. And you have did you see this is something new from the new office? They already have some recommended. You know, the recommended is pretty much nice to me. And if you don't want to use the recommended, you can let it show the all charts, right? So you can explore the lines or pies. I think certainly this is not good for pie charts, right? Or bar charts and scatter plot with dog and radar charts. And this is tree map, or is also the box whisk charts like a funnel, waterfall, and the combo, right? So like, to Excel these days, I think pretty much can satisfy our, you know, the graphical needs, but it is working a different way, right? So if I use the recommended, for example, again, and this is really showing me a trend, right? So the trending, we have two trends, and the red one is for sales, and the blue one is for net income. Okay, so but you can all like, you know, you can have different ways to refine. You know, it's also like really recommended. Okay, so automatic, right? So so the Excel is become more powerful these days. Okay, also like so most of the visualizations you can do in Excel as well. And you can see, you can switch the row and column just from here. And they're much like change the chart type. Okay, move the chart in the, so there are lots of ways you can, you know, work on the Excel as well. I think it's right on time. Okay, I will stop here. That's probably for the lecture part of chapter 3. I will do some lab demos. Okay, lab demos for the assignments we have on the Connect.